Now, weeks later, there's a different kind of protest movement, smaller, more anonymous, and white. Just as black protesters call themselves Michael Brown, police supporters have adopted the mantra, "I am Darren Wilson." Thank you! The name of the 28-year-old policeman who killed the unarmed teenager by shooting him 6 times.
We cannot afford to give up. Giving up on this mission would be giving up on not only Darren Wilson, but it would be an injustice to all of those men and women in blue serving and protecting on our streets. We cannot fail them.
The supporters are angry over the protests, angry with the media, angry with America's politicians.
I mean, I'm sad that the guy got killed, but I'm sure it wasn't his first time breaking the law either.
The breaking the rules doesn't justify being shot and killed.
I don't know, I have to wait. You're innocent until proven guilty. You gotta have to wait till the facts are out.
Well, I don't like to see shootings. And if Brown would have got on the sidewalk like he was told, he wouldn't have been shot. Nothing would have happened if he wouldn't have attacked that police officer. And I do believe he attacked the police officer.
The police officer, 28-year-old Darren Wilson, is now under police protection. This ex-cop has met him and now backs the campaign to deliver him fairness.
I just asked him in his heart, did he feel that he did what he had to do? And he said he did. And that's why I support his right to defense. I mean, he hasn't even been charged, and he's already been convicted in the public. And that just isn't right.
What about that old-fashioned idea of holding police to a higher standard of behavior?
What standard? This man thought he was doing his job. I don't know what standards you're looking at. The justified use of force? How many times he shot him? Well, in my view, obviously, if he shot him 6 times, 5 didn't do the trick. You know, he had to stop this threat.
Well, no one here accepts Michael Brown died because he was black. Some will agree his killing has exposed a massive gulf between black and white in St. Louis.
The white community has a legitimate reason to have problems, not with blacks, but with this subculture that I constantly say. Not with blacks in general. Stop robbing, stop killing each other, stop selling drugs on the corner, get an education, start contributing to society.
142 traffic.
In St. Louis County, if you're young and black, you step out of the car with your hands up. You're 3 times as likely to be stopped as a white person, and minor traffic infringements can very likely put you in jail unless you can afford to post bond.
Sadly, it's a department thing. I gotta arrest you.
Officer Luke, a recent recruit from Michigan on the night shift,
I just want you to face my vehicle for me. Spread your legs just a little bit. I just want to make sure you don't have any weapons.
says the trouble in Ferguson has stirred things up.
It's brought a lot of attention towards us as police officers, so no matter where we go or what we do, we get a lot of the residual protesting, I guess you could say. We'll get a lot of people yelling, hands up, don't shoot at us. And then it also kind of put a turn on the way people look at police officers as well. A lot of times we're looked at, the people that are there to serve and protect, but now we've got kind of a new face.
Disperse immediately, or you will be subject to arrest.
Among police on the front lines during the protests, amid the tear gas, riot gear, and armored vehicles, was service veteran Sergeant Scott Roach. He's still patrolling Ferguson and contemplating the damage done by what he describes as the event.
This has really shined a light on what our focus needs to be right now, which is building that trust again between us and the community. And we're up against it. We are absolutely up against it. We just all hope and pray that there will be some understanding. And I'm doing my best to understand their anger and frustration, as long as they're doing their best to understand what it's like to be a policeman, which I don't expect anybody to understand.
Sergeant Roach says he's never shot anyone and has only drawn his gun a few times.
If I draw my weapon, I don't stick it in the person's face. I draw down to what's called a low ready, where I'm ready to pull it up if I have to. But I don't walk around sticking my gun in people's faces. I'm not going to get a good reaction from that.
We had a policeman kind of poke his gun in our faces when we were in the protest one night.
And it's the guys that do it wrong. It's the guys that are sticking their guns in people's faces for no reason, or for an unjustifiable reason, or whatever it might be, that are making our jobs harder, the ones that are doing good.